Thanks for staying with us. It is still in the game on News Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku. Remember to reach us on social media, and of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at News Central TV. Now, Nigeria is set to make a major return to the global futsal scene for the first time since its last continental appearance in 2008. The Nigerian Football Federation has initiated plans to revive and develop the sport across the country, starting with the launch of the National Futsal Super League in Kaduna this November. Now, the competition will feature regional tournaments across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, with winners advancing to a national final. The wider initiative also includes capacity building programs for coaches and referees, as well as efforts to establish a national futsal team capable of competing on the continental and global stage once again. Of course, if football with the Super Eagles is not working, maybe we should switch to futsal. Maybe that will work, and maybe we can become world champions sometime soon. But of course, in the studio with us is Shamsudeen Yusuf, and of course, he's the organizer National Futsal Super League. And it's great to have you with us. And Onyinyechi is still in the studio as well. Welcome to the show.
Thought you forgot me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You're welcome, Mr. Shamsudeen.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, Onyinyechi, we talked about the futsal, the intro, and I'm saying if Super Eagles is not working, maybe futsal would definitely work.
Yes, we should be able to switch our attention to something that will not make us always check our blood pressure at all times, or even give us sleepless nights. I remember when it dawned on me that we had missed out on even qualifying for the World Cup. I lost sleep. How would I be losing sleep? You should give us something that would make us, you know, smile, give us that joy to enjoy what football is all about, or even what the game, playing the ball, moving the ball around is all about, Shamsudeen.
Right, Shamsudeen, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man.
Talking about futsal, what was it like? What was the inspiration to inspire this bold move to revive the sports?
Okay, first of all, I've always been a big advocate for futsal. I started what we call the Football Fives Championship about 10 years ago. And we went to almost every part of the country. And what I realized was that we have kids that can actually play futsal. And as you know, futsal is the bedrock of traditional football. In Brazil, in Spain, in Asia, as a kid, you should be playing futsal. You don't start playing traditional football. Why? Because it's easier to control the ball, it's more compact, and it gives the kids an excitement while they're playing, rather than going to the big stadium and playing football. So that was the spark, you know. And as you know, it's so interesting because Morocco, as we speak now, are even much stronger than Brazil, because they have taken the sport very, very seriously. And that was just the inspiration. And I said, look, we should start playing futsal.
Right, so, but of course, for the NFF now, what is the plan to ensure that this comeback is quite sustainable?
2 years ago, I sat with the board and the new president then, Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, and we did a development plan, and we presented a plan to him, and he said he's going to give us all the necessary support. As you know, the NFF is the governing body because this is under FIFA. Yeah. So we had to sit down with them, show our plan, what we intend to do. We gave them a 10-year plan of what we intend to do with futsal in Nigeria, and he has agreed to give us all the necessary support. But as you know, the league is independent. You understand? Even though there's a lot of financial support from FIFA going to the federations. Just yesterday, there was an article that came out from FIFA that there has been $100 million given to the federations globally for the development of futsal, both for women and the men. And as I speak to you, the first futsal World Cup for women is about to start in the Philippines. Yes. And
starting up today.
And of course, we're not there yet. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. You just talked about money, and you know, when you speak about money and NFF now, people might hold you on the street of Lagos. Yes. I know that the last time we were into a competitive match, the futsal match, was sometime 2018. If I would remember, and it was just the biggest defeat we had against Tunisia. I remember.
It's 2008.
Yeah, 2008, I beg your pardon, not 2018. Now, when you look at the years that has gone by, and now there is conversation around a national a futsal super league to operate in Nigeria, and that's what you're championing. We have to talk about structure. When money, the amount you just mentioned right now is being called, and there is no structure, we get questions. we would see the reaction on social media, we would see the reaction from journalists. So let's talk about structure. How exactly will the National Futsal Super League in Nigeria, how will it operate?
So, I mean, this discussion has been going on for almost more than 10 years now. And we have taken our time to discuss this initiative with investors, with sponsors, and we said, look, the commercial value for futsal right now is about $800 million globally.
$800 million?
Yes, and that is going to increase by 2030. So the reason why our football, let me just now go back to in general. The reason why our football is not doing so well is because we haven't paid attention to grassroots football, grassroots development. If we spend much time, invest in our grassroots development, I believe that we won't be having the problems that we just saw at our qualifiers. So we're thinking local. You know, the problem is we're building from the top down. We should build from the bottom and we go up. So we must invest. And futsal is one sport that I believe that every kid, whether you go to the east, the north, the west, south, will be excited to play. And we've seen it all over the world. So it's not something that it's out there for us to see. You know, and look at the women that are involved. And we're also involving the women. We have an exhibition tournament also for the women to also get involved, because FIFA has stressed that the women must get involved. Okay,
yes. All right. We know that it's not like futsal doesn't exist in Nigeria. Yeah, I know of Futsal Lagos, and now you're about to launch a league. You just talked about grassroots. Yeah. It's a broken record when you say we should start development from grassroots, because the Nigerian Premier Football League, the NNL, nothing to write home about. What's giving you that faith? Walk us through the blueprints that will make this be sustainable. Udoka did ask about sustainability. I want to know, how would you be able to leverage? Would you be working with the Lagos futsal team? That's Futsal Lagos. Would it be one of your teams? Are you going to be leveraging on their existence? Walk us through that blueprint.
So basically, you know, the league is strictly independent.
Okay.
And because the reason why the NPFL is not working today, one of the major reasons is because the clubs are government owned. So there are restrictions.
Is that a barrier?
Big one. Big one. I mean, we saw the last game, was it Kaduna United versus Barao FC? You know, I mean,
the whole drama.
There's so many restrictions. You know, this is strictly independent. You know, I mean, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to create opportunities for people, private individuals, to own clubs independently. You can have your own futsal. You can have your own futsal franchise. Team. Yeah, you can have your own futsal franchise. We're also looking at media, broadcast. You know.
So how independent can this be when you have the partnership of the Nigerian Football Federation? Please explain.
There's no funding coming from the federation. We're strictly independent.
So you're basically getting your funding
from the private sectors. But obviously, we would help the NFF also, because the reason
this partnership is all about helping the NFF.
Because the NFF,
but the NFF are the ones receiving the money from the global.
Yeah, it's FIFA. It's the FIFA that doesn't give money to private sector.
So how do you want to help someone who is already boxed up?
Let me explain something to you. The Nigerian Football Federation has so many things there. They're overstretched. You have the Super Eagles, you have the Chan Eagles, you have the Flying Eagles, you have the Under 17, you have
beach soccer.
We haven't gone to the beach soccer yet. We have the female teams, you have the Falcons, you have the Falconets. So we understood those challenges, and that's where we came in, because we have the blueprint. I understand the dynamics of how futsal works in Nigeria, because it's something we've done before. And now, for us to take it to the next level and get involved internationally, we have to come in and say, you know what, since the NFF is the governing body, we are going to come into partnership with the federation to take this responsibility. Okay. And that is where we are today.
Okay, you know, the same private sector are the ones we've been calling out for them to take over the Nigeria Football Premier League, to invest in our league, to invest in the club side, so that we can have a better run league. Now, how sure are you that this same private sector would readily want to invest in sports that is seemingly coming back to fruition?
Well, like I said, this is independent. This is not, we don't have, it's not government owned. This is strictly private.
Yeah.
We make our decisions by ourselves. The rules are being set by us. You know, there's no government interference. This is strictly run privately. And like I said, the conversation we've had with the private sector, with investors, has been very, very remarkable. You understand? Look, the statistics are so huge.
Okay.
You understand, across the country. And just yesterday, I was talking to one of my friends in Angola, because Angola too is very big in futsal. They're very big on futsal. And he was saying maybe Nigeria should start looking at futsal, since we're not doing well. He was just a toll at me and saying, look, since your traditional football line is not doing well, maybe it's perhaps you need to invest more.
Invest in futsal.
And it doesn't cost much, you understand? We're not going to wait and say, do we have the best facilities or best infrastructure? With futsal, you can use a basketball court or a handball court, and we have some of them. Already now in Kano we have, in Kaduna we have, in Lagos we have, in Port Harcourt we have, in Ibadan there's one, you know, so we can start using those things. We don't have to wait till we have too much money or the best infrastructure. This is the NIS facility at the National Stadium. We can start using this kind of facility.
All right, but at the end of the day, I'm very certain that a team that would represent Nigeria will be, the crop of players will be brought out from these
teams,
from your national.
Yeah, from this league. Yeah.
Okay, so that means if I'm going to get a crop of what you're saying, the NFF will be coming in with maybe the coaches,
technical, you know,
referees,
technical support.
Okay, technical support. That's where the NFF. That's where I've been waiting to hear that a long time. All right, but they get to represent Nigeria. Yes. How soon are we going to see this come to fruition? How soon are we going to say yes, we can be bold and then beat our chest and then say we have a futsal team?
Well, you know, now the good thing is that it's not official yet, but CAF is now going to reduce the AFCON calendar by every 2 years. It used to be 4 years, which is a huge advantage for us.
Until it's official.
Well, but it's going to be every 2 years. So what we're looking at is, by next year, if we're able to go to 6 geopolitical zones, and we select players from this league, and we have a camp, we have a certain number, we work with the technical department, I think maybe by second, third quarter, we should have a national team for both male and female.
We're going to take you by your word, for your word.
I like to ask, who plays futsal? Do we pick players from, can proper footballers, let me put it that way, can they be a part of this, say players from the Super Eagles, or even the beach soccer Eagles, can they be a part of a futsal team?
So ideally,
there's a special technique?
No, so ideally, anybody can play futsal.
I can play futsal?
Yeah, you can play futsal. Yeah, there's no age barrier, you know, anybody can play futsal. And why futsal is so key is because, look, not every player is going to play professional football. Because I do scouting. 1 out of 10 will go to Europe. What happens to the remaining 9? So we need to create more of this for our youth. This is the only thing they know. Everybody wants to play football. Yeah. But not everybody is going to go to Europe. True. Not everyone. So we need to create something that would, you know.
Okay, futsal has a special facility where you get to play. Yes. What's the possibility that we get to see more of these facilities, or we see facilities have where we can play futsal football?
Well, that's part of our conversation with our partners, with our investors, you know, to build infrastructure, modern day infrastructure.
Mr. Shamsudeen, I keep saying this. You're talking about these private sectors doing all this. What will the NFF be doing with the monies they receive from the Federation of International Football?
I can't answer that question because I don't work for the Federation.
I'll be holding you by that question. I'll be holding you by that question. Yes.
I don't work
because we're talking about accountability now for the NFF. You can't be doing this and they keep getting the money without putting it into action. No.
It has to actually go. You know what you say, put your money where your mouth is, and that's what the NFF needs to start
like doing. I said, I don't work for the Federation. The only thing I can do is...
Because that's where we get to, I built this from the scratch. You know, sense of entitlement, because when you get to a point where you've groomed teams and you have a particular team that can represent Nigeria, you begin to have a sense of ownership because the NFF did nothing. That's not where we want to get to with our national teams.
Today, we know that the tournament started over there in the Philippines, and shockingly, only 2 African teams
are represented.
Morocco and Tanzania. Tanzania making a debut in the tournament. We're looking forward to Nigeria being a part of this one. And how do we get schools involved? Because we talk about grassroots.
Yes.
We need to go back to the schools as well. How do we introduce the schools to be a part of this as well?
So like I said, we're trying to expand this as much as we can. I mean, from universities to secondary schools, to academies, and local clubs, you understand? So, but like I said, it's one step at a time. It's brick by brick.
Yeah.
First of all, you need to make people understand what the sport is, because a lot of people don't still understand what futsal is. They think it's five-a-side, but they're similar, but the rules are different, So first of all, that's why I said the one in Kaduna will be an exhibition league, to see, and now I can tell you all about
test the waters.
Test the waters.
Okay.
And the rest.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, looking forward to that one. And like Shamsudeen said, I can play futsal. So who says I'll not be at the next futsal World Cup? Even though Onyechi just might be representing Nigeria in the Women's World Cup, because the Super Eagles are not doing us proud, and we're hoping that we would go there and show them what we can do with the football on our feet, playing futsal. I say thank you very much, Shamsudeen, for coming up to the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to a great session when the National Super League.
You still owe me that response. I'm waiting for you, that response.
Maybe off camera.
What will the NFF? Yeah,
maybe when I come back here next time.
It's all right. Thank you. Let's